Before dawn, a fisherman casts his net into the Tigris and drags up something far heavier than fish, a locked chest bound and weighted. Pry back the lid, and inside lies a young woman, cut to pieces. By sunrise, the Caliph of Baghdad will give his closest friend 3 days to find her killer, or hang in his place. This is Baghdad in its golden age, a city of 100,000 lamps ruled by Harun al-Rashid, the mightiest caliph of his time. The man he trusts above all others is his grand vizier, Jafar. Tonight, that trust becomes a trap. A murdered woman has surfaced in the river, and the Caliph wants a name. Find the killer in 3 days, he tells Jafar, or take his place on the gallows. Jafar has no witness, no weapon, no clue, only an empty chest and a dead woman no one has come to claim. It is the darkest hour when the river runs black, and the call to prayer is still far off. An old fisherman casts his net into the Tigris, as he has every night of his life, and tonight it does not come back light. Something drags against the current, not the thrash of a fish, but a dead, unmoving weight. He hauls it onto the mud, a chest of dark wood bound with rope and heavy with water. He thinks of treasure. Every poor man does. He cuts the cords, lifts the lid, and the smell reaches him before the sight. Inside, wrapped in a stained shawl, lies a young woman, cut apart by a careful and terrible hand. The fisherman does not scream. He runs for the watchman, for in Baghdad a body in a chest is no secret a poor man dares keep. By morning it lies before the Caliph himself. Harun al-Rashid looks down at the broken body and feels something colder than grief, shame. This happened in his city, under his peace, while he slept behind palace walls. He turns to the one man he trusts to set it right, his vizier, Jafar. "Find who did this," the Caliph commands. "Bring me the murderer. You have 3 days. Fail me, and you will hang in his place." It is not cruelty. It is the weight of a ruler who cannot let murder go unanswered. Jafar bows. What else can he do? But as he leaves the hall, the truth settles on him like a stone. There is no witness. No one has even come to name the dead woman, let alone her killer. He has no thread to pull, only 3 days, a faceless corpse, and the certainty of his own execution at the end of them. And the first day is already half gone. For 3 days, Jafar does everything a powerful man can do, and it is not enough. He sends criers through the markets begging for word of a missing wife or daughter. He questions boatmen, bathhouse keepers, sellers of cloth, searching for the shawl, the chest, the apples, anything. He finds nothing. The dead woman might have fallen from the sky. A city of 1,000,000 souls keeps its secrets, and murder is the easiest secret of all to keep. On the 3rd night, Jafar does not sleep. He sits by a single failing lamp, listens to the hours fall, and understands at last that he will die for a crime he did not commit and cannot solve. At dawn he embraces his children and walks to the palace to surrender his life. The executioner is waiting. The Caliph is waiting. The sword is already drawn. And Jafar kneels, having found exactly nothing. Then, as the blade is raised, the silence breaks. "Stop! I am the murderer!" A young man shoves through the crowd, pale and wild-eyed, and flings himself down before the Caliph. "It was me. Spare the vizier. The sin is mine." Jafar barely breathes. But before relief can take hold, an old man forces his way forward too, white-bearded and weeping. "Do not believe him," he cries. "I killed her. Take my life, not his. He only seeks to shield me." Now 2 men kneel where one was condemned, each begging for the sword. The crowd murmurs. The Caliph's eyes narrow. One of them is lying, and a lie at the foot of the gallows is a strange and desperate thing. Harun al-Rashid leans forward. "Which of you truly did this?" he demands, "and why would any man race toward his own death?" The young man lifts his face and begins to tell a story no one in that square will forget. "She was my wife," the young man says, "and this old man is her father. She fell ill and asked only for an apple. I found none in all Baghdad, so I journeyed to Basra and back and brought her 3 rare apples. Still she did not mend, and they sat untouched by her bed. Then one day in the street I saw a slave tossing an apple, one of those very apples. He laughed that his sweetheart had given it to him. My blood turned to fire. Only my wife had those apples. I went home and the 3rd was gone. I did not ask. I did not wait. I drew my knife and killed the mother of my children, cut her apart, sealed her in a chest, and gave her to the river. And when it was done, my little son crept to me, trembling. He had taken an apple to play with, and a slave had snatched it from his hands in the lane. She was innocent. I killed her for nothing. The square is silent now. Even the executioner has lowered his sword. The old father weeps for the daughter he lost, and the husband he cannot bring himself to hate. And Harun al-Rashid, who came for a hanging, finds he no longer wants one. The young man killed not in malice but in grief, and the truth has punished him 1,000 times over. The Caliph spares him. Yet a ruler's justice cannot simply stop. Someone set this tragedy in motion. The slave who stole an apple from a child and then bragged a careless lie in the street. "Jafar," the Caliph says, turning to the Vizier who thought himself saved, "you will find me that slave. You have 3 days. Fail, and the sentence I lifted falls back on you." And so Jafar walks out under the same blade as before, hunting one nameless slave in a city of 1,000,000, with no more to go on than the last man, and no more time. Again Jafar searches. Again he finds nothing. One slave among the countless thousands of Baghdad, with no name and no face. It is hopeless, and he knows it. On the 3rd day, he goes home to say goodbye, certain the sword will fall. He gathers his children close and lifts his youngest daughter into his arms, and in her small hands he sees it. An apple, fine and rare, and pressed into its skin, the mark of the Caliph's own seal. His heart stops. "Where did you get this?" he whispers. "From Rayhan," the girl says. "Our Rayhan. I bought it from him for a few coins." Rayhan, his own household slave. The man Jafar has torn the city apart to find has been beneath his own roof the entire time, feeding his children, walking his halls, the first link in a chain that killed a stranger and nearly killed his master. Jafar stands frozen, undone by the smallness of it all. Jafar brings Rayhan before the Caliph and lays the whole chain bare. A child's stolen apple, a slave's idle lie, a husband's jealous knife, an innocent woman in the river, and the cause of it all living quietly in the Vizier's own house. Harun al-Rashid listens in silence. He demanded a murderer. The world has handed him something sadder. A death no single hand truly intended, assembled out of small human failings, one passed to the next like a flame. And the man he sent to scour all Baghdad need only have looked at his own table. Moved by the cruel chance of it, the Caliph pardons them all. No more blood will be spilled. But the woman does not return, and that is the part the lamp will not let anyone forget. A careless lie, a jealous heart, a question never asked, and a life gone before anyone thought to seek the truth. Justice did not catch the guilty. It simply ran out of people left to punish. That is the tale of the three apples, a murder undone not by cleverness or law, but by a child, an apple, and the long arm of chance. In old Baghdad, they told it to remember one simple, heavy thing: how swiftly a single unasked question can cost everything. If you have sat with this story by the lamplight, stay a while longer. There are older tales still waiting in the dark, of caliphs and fishermen, sealed jars and cities of brass, kings turned to stone. Light the lamp again whenever you are ready, and we will tell another.